Boilermaker Banter. I'm here with my brother Brett. Say hi.
Hello, everybody.
So we are Boilermaker Banter. We are going to discuss the Grambling State and Purdue first round of the NCAA tournament game last night. So Brett, I'm going to have you kick it off. What do you've got?
Well, Brian, we break down our tiered scoring. Our tier one, Edie, Smith, and Lawyer, 49. We talk about wanting them to be plus 50, over 50 on their scoring, if not closer to 60. They only had 49, and Edie had 30 of those, and which he had that dominant game. But in that tiered scored, Fletcher, Lawyer only with 8, not only, but that's something that we need to keep looking at going forward. Our tier 2 scoring, this is where I really want to do some focus. They had 17, thanks in large part to Ren. I think he had a really good night. But Gillis had 0 points. So that is something that is concerning to me. When we go deep in that tournament, we do need to have that balance. Gillis does need to get in there and get his points. Our tier 3, 8 points, and that's all Heidi. We didn't get any scoring from any of the other guys. So focusing real quick on Zach, 30 points, 21 rebounds. This is the first time since 1995 that someone scored 30 and over 20 rebounds.
Yeah.
So
it's the third time in
history.
Yeah, third time in history that's ever been done. So that's pretty cool.
And the other last highlight about Grambling, and they'll lead us into tomorrow's game against Utah State. Braden Smith, he had 11 points, great, but he had 10 assists and no turnovers. So Braden Smith took care of the ball, which is so vitally important, right? Some of the things, and we can start rolling into what's going to look like tomorrow, and I'll ask you some of these things that we do need our balance scoring. We talk about this. We need to have balance scoring. We need more contributors. That's why I focused on Gillis. Fletcher Lawyer with only 8. But we need to have build-up. We need to have more guys scoring. Braden Smith, though, 10 assists, no turnovers. We talk about what do we – Painter always talks about hit the boards, get the rebounds, and no turnovers. So that is I think the more positives as an outcome of the Grambling game than negatives, those concerns. What are your thoughts on what you see from the Grambling game and how that would translate into tomorrow's game against Utah State?
I think the game plan was go to Edie. We knew there would be a mismatch. And when you have the best player like he is in the country, that was the game plan from the get-go. I think they believe that our perimeter guys would hit shots when we need it, which they did. They didn't need to do a whole lot from the outside since we went to Edie and he was so dominant. We would have won by close to 40 points if he would have hit his free throws, right? That's why the game was as close as it was. If it was working, that's what you do, and that's what they were doing. Go to Edie, go to Edie, go to Edie. Lawyer had a couple key threes. It looked like his shot was on, but it looked like he didn't really care to shoot. It looked like they were all just, very simply, like I said, they just wanted to go to Edie the whole night long, right? Heidi hit. Jones hit a key 3. Lawyer hit a couple. Smith hit a couple. They all seemed like they were on. Gillis, like you said, I don't know if he shot 1-2 times in the game, missed both shots.
Mm-hmm.
But
he really didn't shoot much.
Yeah, I think he was probably just testing the waters. Hey, let's see if I'm on. But we'll go to Zach the rest of the game. Those guys were falling out. So I think everything looks to be good. It was a little scary at first in the first half. I thought we would be up by 20. It was because of our penetration defense was not good at all. Yeah. We just allowed those guys to just drive into the 10-foot line and shoot an easy floater. And Painter did say post-game that that's where he was weak. And so he did realize that was going on. And he said it was the switch defense was bad.
Yeah.
So then they switched it up in the second half, and it did work better in the second half. But so he did realize that was a problem. Going into Utah State now tomorrow, you're not going to get a Zach Edey performance like that every game, I don't think. I know he's going to want to do it, but you will need to start relying on these other guys a little bit more as we get further in the tournament. Utah State, to me, looks like a blue-collar type of team. They're bigger, stronger, but they don't seem as quick on the guard play end, and I think we should fare really well. I don't know how they're going to guard Kaufman-Wren. I don't know how they're going to guard Edey, right? Those two guys should have a good game tomorrow. And then I look at Lawyer and Gillis. I don't know if they're going to be able to be quick enough to get to all of our shooters, right? And so I think Lawyer, Gillis, one of those two guys, maybe both, will have pretty good nights. And I think Smith is going to do a great job at just dishing off, just doing his thing. I think, again, tomorrow is just a matter of cleaning up the boards, no turnovers, and Smith just being smart at dishing off who's going to be open, because there are going to be guards open on the three-point. We hit a few. Zach does his thing. I think we're going to be okay.
Yeah, on the matchups tomorrow, I do agree with you. As I look down the list of their Tier 1 through Tier 3 players, matchups against Edey. Now, they have Johnson, who's a 7-footer. I like the fact that teams have centers, because people would think, oh, my goodness, they have a center, so they're going to be able to defend Edey. No, there is not a center in the country that can defend Edey. Yeah. And it's not that it's a false premise, but it's wonderful, because I'm expecting, we hope that they go ahead and have Johnson just man Zach, and Zach was going to eat him alive. I mean, this guy's 7 foot, Zach's 7'4". I mean, that's 4. He is a true big, and this guy is not going to be able to keep Zach from getting to the bucket. So that's a positive. Now, Utah State's going to do what the Wisconsin strategy, right? The strategy that all these teams plan. I have 3 guys with asterisks, so 15 fouls to give. They're going to foul Zach. They're going to put Zach on the line, and it's going to be a brawl. You're going to see, we saw the scratches on Zach's arm from Grambling. There's going to be more battle scars, because these guys they're going to foul him. So we have Johnson, who's a 7-footer. There's a 6'11" guy. And the thing is about Johnson, he's a Tier 3 in terms of minutes. Tier 3 meaning he's not playing significant minutes. So it's not like the 7-footer. So does he have the cardio to go more minutes with Zach? Zach goes many minutes. So they're going to have to rotate these guys in. So I think that the matchup against Zach is going to play heavily for Zach. He's going to have to make free throws. They're going to foul him. They're going to get into foul trouble. Yeah, I agree with you. I think TKR, I think Wren should have a pretty good night. He is definitely going to have an advantage height-wise against whoever guards him. Going down the list, they've got their Tier 1, they've got a 6'8", 6'3", 6'2", and then their Tier 2, they've got a 6'9", and 6'3", 6'5". So it's going to be difficult for Utah State. I think I see an advantage for Purdue on the matchup. I agree that they're not going to be like Grambling. They're not going to run. They're not going to be able to do that. So I feel really good about the matchup. TCU, they were bigger, and they seemed to really want to go fast. They kind of got out of control, but I'm glad for this matchup.
Yeah, I think we were talking about it when TCU was playing. They seem like they have quicker athletic guards, and we tend to not do very well, as we know. Utah State just seems to be a little bit bigger, stronger guys, which really favors Purdue, right?
Yeah.
And like you said, the big guys, I mean, that 7-footer, I believe he's 220 pounds. There's no way he can push around on Edey. And so Edey should have another day of, a double-double, 20, 15, 25, and 15, maybe somewhere around there. And I think our guards actually should fare better against Utah State than they did against Grambling. Grambling was all over the place, right? They were all guards, just going. Utah State's going to be more spread out. It looks like on offense, it looks like they try to do one man type of plays while they're spread out. I didn't see a whole lot of pick and rolls with them. That tends to be a problem with Purdue.
That's switch
And they were
speed.
trying to, switching. So I don't think that it should be that difficult for us. Now they could switch up their game plan, but I think in one game scenario, they've never played a Purdue and they've only had really one day today to prepare. You're not going to be able to do much, right?
Yeah.
You're going to probably stick to your game plan, which is we just hope that Zach doesn't get his. We'll do as much as we can against him and hope the guards really are off. That's about what all these teams are going to be hoping for, that we can't hit.
Yeah.
And Zach is just being stopped with just foul after foul after foul, right?
Yeah, it's really going to come down to our guards being able to hit baskets. If they start off, I can certainly see them starting off just man on man on Zach, not doubling him because they've got a center. So I can certainly see them starting off like, okay, we're gonna try this straight up and see how this goes. Yeah. And then if it doesn't go well, then they'll start doubling Zach and then say, okay, now we're going to try and shut down Zach, but that leaves Purdue's guards open. So when we come back to our tiered scoring, I really hope in this game we see – I'm fine if Zach doesn't get a double-double as long as it's because he has 8 assists. Because he's getting double and triple teamed and he's passing that ball out, and you've got someone like Gillis or Jones or whoever it is, lawyer out there, and they're hitting these threes. That is what I would love to see. Because that's what it's going to take. I'm all for Zach getting these big, huge games, but we certainly want to see our entire team contribute and really get some good balanced scoring. And Utah State, I believe, will be one of those scenarios where there are going to be some opportunities, and they need to take them. I really want to see Gillis shooting that ball more.
Yep.
I want to see Jones, Lawyer, all of them, Heidi, Colvin. I would really like to see them out there playing more and shooting that ball.
Yeah, I think we're going to see that. From what I saw with Utah State, I don't see there's any reason why these guys don't come in and contribute. I think we're way more athletic against Utah State. I think Edey is just going to get his position because he's so much bigger than these other big guys that Utah State has. I think they have one guy that looks like he's pretty solid, but he doesn't look that good at all. And I'm sure he'll probably foul Edey, and he'll foul out of the game probably within the first 5 or 8 minutes of the second half is what I kind of see. Yeah, he'll get his position. All he has to do is get in the low block position, passing the ball, and he'll just go in. I think our athletes will show tomorrow, and I do believe, like I said, our perimeter shooters will have the potential to do really well. And I think Jones looked to be a little off the last few games. I think it could be a good game for him because he's pretty quick. And I think he outquicks some of their perimeter guards that will be defending him. So he could have a big game, even assists-wise. But I think you're going to see Jones. I wouldn't be surprised that Jones drove the lane a lot for his 10-foot buckets and some good layups. You could see him scoring 12, 15 points tomorrow, most of those from within 10 feet of a drive and a layup and a pull-up from the free throw line.
Yeah. In summary, what I'm hoping to see after tomorrow's game is that we get more balanced scoring. You have much more contribution and a more willingness to shoot that ball. We're going to be able to hit those boards, get some rebounds, and just allow Zach the comfort to know that something that he's done all season, much better than last, is the ability to understand that when you're double and triple teamed, you find someone open, they're going to knock something down. Yeah. And that's the main point about tomorrow is Zach feeling comfortable in knowing that he doesn't have to put the ball on the floor to make something happen. He can find someone who's gonna hit that three or make something happen. Some quick passes to get around to Zach in a better position. But just not put the ball on the floor and really think and execute. No turnovers. Make those free throws, and I think Purdue's going to have a good night.
Yeah, I think usually when we have a bad night of shooting free throws, the next game we usually do pretty good. So I think we're going to be fine. I think we're favored 10.5 points. In the NCAA tournament, any favor is better. We're not going to be expected to be favored by 30 points from here on out. No one is, right?
Right.
You just got to find a way to win the game. And I think from a matchup standpoint, this matches up great for Purdue. And we are a way better team than they are. We're top 1, 2 best teams in the country. And if we play our game with all of our weapons, no one's going to touch us. So, again, as Purdue fans, we're looking at the next game, right? Just the next game, and this is the next game. I think if they just play their normal ball, we do cover the spread, but I could also see us winning by 20 points.
Yep. I'm looking forward to it.
You really can feel that. Yep. Okay, well, we will see how the game goes tomorrow. Hopefully we have another win under our belt to get to the Sweet 16. And anything else, Brett, before we sign off?
Go Purdue.
Go Purdue, everybody. We'll see you guys after the game tomorrow night. Let's go.
Go Boiler up. See you, Brian.
Bye.